you going, boys? Mike here. Welcome back to Grampie's Workshop. Boys, I'm glad you dropped in. Thanks a lot. You know, the Massey Motel, she's just about finished out there. Well, it is, for all intents and purposes. She's done up. But, you know, the paint's hardly dry, but time to make modifications to it. So we're going to try and do a little bit of sorting inside the enclosure today. So let's get at it. So again, I have to apologize for the lighting in here. I don't have any electrics in here just yet, but that's coming. That's one of the modifications I'm making. In fact, I'll show you right now what I've done. I brought electrical service in through the corner down here, ran it around the corner of the wall, and I have it right here. I'm going to put an outlet there with a switch to run the lights. Anyway, there's my mini scaffolding that I have, and I tucked that in the corner because that's a great way, a great unit for storing the attachments on. You can adjust the level up and down, so I'll be able to put attachments down below and on top. So that's going to work good. Before I put the mini scaffolding in the corner there, I was thinking I was going to build a shelf from one wall to the other, right across there. Then I was thinking if I put the shelf in there, it won't be adjustable. So then I had this grandiose idea how I could make an adjustable shelf to put in there, and I think that would have worked good. And I may end up still doing that, but in the meantime, I decided I would just put my mini scaffolding in here. Because like I say, I can put attachments below it, and I can move the deck up, and I can put attachments on top of it. And then that leaves me with this real estate right in here. And I had a shelf unit that was in the shop, and when I redid the shop, remodified the shop and everything, really I had no place for it. So I was going to put it out here, and I just tried it on this wall over here. Well, I didn't like it. The shelf unit was 1 foot deep, 3 feet wide. Just stuck out too far from the wall. I just figured I'd be bumping into it all the time. And guess what? It's just wide enough to fit between the wall and the end of the scaffolding. It's like it was made for there. So that kind of told me that that's where I need to put it. So that's what I'm up to this morning. I took that shelf apart, cut it in half. So we're going to go in the shop now and reassemble it. We're going to bring it out, try to figure out how we can attach it on the wall there and make a little bit of a shelf unit out here. So when I broke down my other shelf unit and cut it in half, I ended up with these. They're about 5.5 inches wide now, I think, something like that. 5 7/8. And I also had from the cleats and everything from the old shelf, I had enough pieces left. I needed 3 more backer strips here, but I have those too. So we're going to make this shelf. First thing, these little cleats here, they're going to support each shelf. We'll use the old locations for the shelves. The thing is, these side cleats, I want to make sure that I have room for this piece at the back, so that's where they'll be located right there. So I'm going to put a couple of pilot holes in here and secure that on there. So we're just going to line this up with the back. There's going to be nothing fancy about this unit, right? I'm just, because it's only going to be in the Massey Motel. Oh my God, I can't believe I said that. The top one I had set down a little bit from the top, there, just to hold things. If I put something up there, it won't slide off the edge, right? Right there. 25. We'll get our square here to make sure we put these on square. And again, we have to make room for our 1x at the back. And now the one in the middle, half is 12, 25 is 12.5. So that's one standard, right? Now I'll just copy that over here. Okay, now with our standards made, what we can do is we can set that guy up with a clamp, and we're going to put a clamp on this fella, just like that. And then we're going to set this in here. We need to drill a hole here. Screw on this side. this guy should go in here. We'll do the same with him. And then we can turn this around this way. And we can put our third backer piece in here. And then we put the shelf pieces in, just like so. All right, but now I need to put a couple of pilot holes back here. This one goes here. And then this one is going to go down here. There we go. All right, so there's the shelf. We can put a back on it, and I think I will, because I don't, like if I put stuff on there, I don't want it to fall through, right? And then go in the cavities between the studs. So, of course, scrap wood, eh? A piece of scrap OSB, 1/4 inch thick. I think it'll work perfect for a backer. All right, so here's the piece I cut. This one is 46 1/8 by 46 1/8. So this is square. If I set this up square on the top and bottom and edges, then it'll make the shelf square, right? And I'm going to put a lot in it because it's the backboard that gives the shelf its strength. Okay, so there's one shelf for the enclosure. Now, I'm going to make another one the same as this. So they're not kitchen cabinet quality, that's for sure, but it's going to be great for the Massey Motel, eh? I'm not exactly sure where the placement of these shelves are going to go just yet, but we're going to try it at 49 inches and see what happens. Let's put this up here. Let's hope it fits in here, right? I'm going to put a screw in it just to hold it so I have a look at it. I'll be able to reach up here, I guess, and here, but the second unit, I don't know, kind of low there, isn't it? You know, that's not bad. I think that would work out all right there. And it fits so perfect between the wall and the mini staging, eh? It's almost like it was meant to be there. But I'm just thinking, if I'm loading stuff like attachments on the staging, if I can't get the tractor close enough to that wall to get the piece in there, might have to do some maneuvering, right? So I'm wondering if maybe this shelf might not be better if I turn around and put it on this wall. So now with this shelf in here, I could even move this scaffolding this way, like another foot or so, and still be able to slide in here to get stuff. Now, things I'll be putting on this shelf are not something I'm going to be accessing daily, that's for sure. I don't know, I think that might be better, even though it fits so well this way. One of the things I have in here for my tractor is I have a battery maintainer and also a battery charger and a booster, battery booster. So the way the tractor is geared up, the access that I make for my battery connection is on the left-hand side of the tractor, and the tractor, I usually back the tractor in, so that means I need to have that access over on this side, on the left-hand side of the enclosure. So maybe I need a shelf unit over there to hold all that rigmarole, right? So this is about halfway down the wall here. Earlier on, I had just taken, before I cut this shelf unit in half, it was 12 inches wide, and I stuck that up in the wall here. And it was sticking out too far, but this one's not. I think that's going to be all right. There's still lots of room, for putting the tractor in and out. Okay, here's another thing we can do, just as a trial. I'm going to put the tractor in here and just see what the access is like to these shelves, okay? I tried to put the tractor in where I thought was in the middle of the enclosure, but I'm closer to this side than the other side. But anyway, that still gives me lots of room to walk through here. Now I've got these won't stay here. These are the plates, the bases for the scaffolding. They won't stay here, so I've got lots of room to walk there. The door won't close because I'm too close to the wall. But now around on this side, lots of room for the door to close there. The back blade is probably the longest attachment that I have in the tractor, and I'm a foot away from the scaffolding, so this is about as far back as I would ever set the tractor. So that means that this shelf being here, there's my access point for charging the tractor, so that's good and close. I'm going to have an outlet installed here, so that's good and close, but maybe what I could do, I've got enough wire here, I can move my outlet down to that stud. That would be even better. But I'm thinking, like if I get the tractor more centered in the enclosure, this shelf might be in the way, but it might not. I think I'll center this shelf on these two studs, and then I'm going to put a little, for the electrics, I got a plan to put a little panel here, and there'll be an outlet on that, and a switch for the lights, and so on and so forth, and the outlet will be down there. I'm trying to think of all the scenarios, and I can't. So let's just put it there. And I think I'm going to leave that other one on the side over there too. I like it that way. So I've got the shelf mounted here on the wall, and I even started to put a few odds and sods in here. Like I got some engine oil and some hydraulic oil on this shelf. And over in this corner, I have a couple of PTO shafts here and a couple of skid shoes up top. And I've got the wings for my snow pusher down in the corner. I've got the forks over here in this corner. Oh, and speaking of that corner, remember I was talking when I put when I first put the scaffold in here, it was tight against that wall because I wanted to make room to put my shelf unit on the end of it. And I said if I ever have to move this scaffolding because it's too difficult to get the attachments in there, it would be a problem if that shelf was on the back wall because there'd be no room to move the scaffolding. Well, guess what? I had already moved the shelf, of course, but when I was putting the box plate in here, I couldn't get my tractor tight enough to that wall to get the box plate set in there just the way I wanted it because of this shelf protruding from the wall. So I had to move the scaffolding over. So there it is. I got the scaffolding moved about a foot from that wall, but it still gives me lots of access on this side to get into my shelf. So, you know, jiggling around, trying different things, I guess it paid off. Also, I don't like to make two-part videos, but I'm going to have to make this into two parts because, you know, organizing here, getting just these two shelves set up, but, you know, with trying all the different possibilities, it took me a lot longer than I thought it was going to be. So we're going to have to call this video, close it down here, but stay tuned for part 2 of this episode where I electrify the Massey Motel. So leave me some comments about what you think about my shelves and the way I've got the attachments stored here on the scaffolding. Don't forget to thumbs up me. And have a great week wherever you are too, folks. We'll talk to you.